Good afternoon and welcome to the final or regular meeting of the Board of Estimate and Apportionment for the final vote out for approval of the fiscal year 2024 annual operating plan for Monday, April 24th, 2023. Ms. Stephanie Green, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones,
Present.
Comptroller Green. Here. President Green.
Present.
All present.
Great. We have one item on our agenda and it's pretty big. Item number 1, request from the Budget Director for approval of fiscal year 2024 proposed budget and personnel schedules with proposed amendments and to submit the recommend Board Bill number 1 to the Board of Aldermen as the budget for the City of St. Louis for the fiscal year beginning July 1st, 2023. Okay, I also have received an amendment from Paul. Paul, do you want to do a quick review before you introduce your?
Sure. Thank you, Mayor, and good afternoon, members of the board. I do. You should have, and should have in front of you both a summary of some proposed changes to the budget as submitted last week, which I will walk you through. And behind that are the detailed changes to both line items and personnel schedules. So on the document, and let me share the screen. Pull it up if I can. Oh, it says host disabled participant screen sharing.
Let's see, Joe, can you help Paul out?
Okay, let's see. Can you do anything yet, Mr. Payne?
Okay, let's see. Can everyone see that now?
Yes.
Great. Okay, again, this is a summary of the proposed changes. I should point out most of these, let me sign it here quick. Many of these, or most of these, we'd heard from a number of departments where the personnel schedule had a position out that was filled, and then we needed to fix that because some of the when the budgets were originally presented, the personnel schedules were somewhat dated. So you're going to see a number of changes where we've deleted some vacant positions, added a occupied position in order to make sure that we don't inadvertently eliminate a position that is filled. So I'm going to walk you through these. The first one, in the mayor's office, this is a correction to the accounts. This is the travel account was in the wrong account, so we're just correcting that. That's not a dollar change there. Item number 2 is a Department of Personnel. They also had some item where they said this position or that position is filled. Could we exchange that for another's? And so we've done that. Actually, they would point out that the position's filled, and so we were required to try to find an offsetting reduction there to offset it. Information systems, it was the same story. They had a position that was filled as well. Item number 4, in the comptroller's office, they requested $100,000 for professional services for contract monitoring purposes, but then they are volunteered to offset that with salary savings. So that was a de minimis change there. A little bit more of a substantial change in the Department of Public Safety. There was a request to add $500,000 in the contractual service line for a motor vehicle license compliance program. This is for a program that for vehicles that have expired licenses. And then the offsetting reduction was in the Justice Center, where we had taken some salary savings earlier in the original proposal. We just increased that a bit to offset that increase in the Director of Public Safety's office. Another larger item, well, there was a change in the Controller's Office personnel schedule. Again, that was a non-dollar change, again, to accommodate a filled position. That was item 7. 8 is a rather larger, more significant change. This relates to the pending new general obligation bond issuance. Typically in Board Bill 1, we do have the authorization for payments on the GO bonds that are outstanding, and that was what's in there today. But there is a proposal to issue the new GO bond issue, and there's been uncertainty about how much that would be. Now, the latest projection that it would be a $30 million bond issue, and that would go before the board. And those payments would total $2,970,000 would be paid in February. And this is again out of the property tax levy. This is a no tax increase levy. But that would need to be incorporated in Board Bill 1. And so that's what item number 8 is addressing. Item number 9 was a change to the Community Development Administration personnel schedule. If you recall from last week's meeting, there was a change to that TO in the block grant funds that added a couple positions, deleted a couple positions. And this is ensuring that those funds are in the block grant fund is accommodating those 2 positions. And item 10 and 11 relate to the Director of Human Services, where there were some grant funded positions that we're not going to be able to, or it's potentially not going to be able to fund some filled positions in the fiscal section of the department. And so we're trying to make sure that, again, the occupied positions are budgeted one way or another in the Director of Human Services. So there were some changes in both the grant funded TO as well as the use tax TO and the Director of Human Services budget to accommodate that. Overall, you can see there's mostly smallish type changes within those funds from a budget standpoint, except for, of course, the GO debt service, which would be funded with the tax levy there. And then the detail for each one of those proposed amendments follows that. And so that's the extent of the proposed changes to the proposed budget.
Great. Thank you, Paul. Any questions for Paul? Okay, hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adopt the agenda as written and vote the budget bill, vote for budget bill number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor, please vote by voice vote of aye. Ms. Stephanie Green, please call the roll.
Mayor Jones,
Aye.
Comptroller Green,
Aye.
President Green,
Aye.
all in favor.
Wow, I think we have broken a world record for passing the budget. Because remember, well, last year, I think we were on the phone on this call for a couple hours. So, see what happens when women run the city. I had to say. Any other business to discuss before we adjourn? Okay, seeing none, again, we want to thank Paul Payne and his staff, as well as all of the other department directors who participated in the process and putting together the budget for fiscal year 24. Your efforts are truly appreciated, and I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second.
Been moved and properly seconded. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you,
Have a
everyone.
great week, everybody.